Hello class, and welcome to this track and field NES walkthrough right here on Video Games 101 by way of Let's Play with Brigands. I'm your instructor, Professor Brigands, and in honor of the Olympics, which are going on right now, not to date this class, but they are, thought we would cover this, probably the most famous of all of the Olympic games, certainly of the retro gaming era. This is 1985 from Konami right here. In terms of difficulty, not all that difficult. We're going to go ahead and give this a 3 out of 10. On the frustration scale, this equates to omitting a 4-letter swear, probably because you came maybe just 10 points shy of the world record. Are world records measured in points? I don't know, maybe that's just a Konami thing. But either way, I'm sure Olympians, when they come this close to getting the gold or setting the world record or what have you, I'm sure the few choice words slip every now and then. They're still human. But anyway, throughout the course of this track and field NES walkthrough, we're going to show you the tips, the strategies for getting the high score in every single event in this game. And by high score, I mean world record. We're shooting for the stars, so strap in. Fluff has a few interesting facts about this game as well, so let's run the intro and get into this track and field NES walkthrough right here on Video Games 101. Gotta love that Vangelis Chariots of Fire theme right there. Before we get into any of the events, because this is going to go pretty quick once we get into it, let's take a look at the controls for track and field for the NES. Pretty straightforward when B is not even used, nor is select. We're going to use the D-pad for the timing, the angle, and the shot release. And A is for everything else, so note that these change depending on what event we're dealing with, hence the slashes right there. But let's take a look now at the Briggs notes. These are the keys to setting world records in track and field, or just doing well, at least qualifying. First and foremost, follow this guide. We have the tips, the numbers to get you to the gold. Speaking of numbers, 45 degrees is for the win. That's what you want to shoot for in most of the events. Couple exceptions, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the 45 degrees. Third, make space for the gold medals and the world record plaques. We recommend just getting a dedicated trophy room. It's just easier after a certain point. Make sure it's on the first floor, it's by the front door, so if someone comes to visit, you can just say, oops, oh, you were looking for the bathroom? Oh, that's my trophy room. Honest mistake, but since we're in here, I may as well show you all of my trophies. And lastly, never buy another drink in your life. World record holders do not buy their own drinks. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the first event here in track and field. By the way, modes A and B is just novice and expert mode, so more of a challenge on B. We're going to stick with A. Starting with the 100-meter dash, just mash A as quick as possible. I prefer the pointer and middle fingers, alternating between those two on the A button, over just mashing it with the thumb there, but it's your preference. Obviously, you can use turbo if you want to cheat, but it's not necessary to set a world record just like that. Just like that. So there you go. The new world record, 8 seconds, 8.95 seconds. But we're moving right along to the long jump now. Here we want to go for that sweet spot of 45 degrees. Essentially, you just tap A as fast as you can until you get to that line to build up speed. Once you let go of the A button, right on that line, as close to the line as you can, you want to hold that D-pad and then release it when it gets as close to that 45 degrees as is humanly possible. As you can see, good combination of speed with right around there. This might break our own world record there. There we go, 2 events, 2 world records. It's all about combining a lot of speed with that perfect angle as we move on and challenge our old opponent, CPU. Make sure you don't hit A before you get that start, otherwise you'll get a foul. You can do 2 fouls before you're disqualified on that third one, but here we're tapping A as quickly as possible once again, and then hitting the D-pad to jump over the hurdles. And we have another world record. Yes, we do. Shaved about a second off of the previous world record. That guy over there is doing all right. Doing all right. He's not Kevin. I've decided our guy's name is Kevin. All right, the javelin toss. Once again, we want that 45 degrees. We're running up to the line. Kind of similar to the long jump. We're tapping A as quickly as possible and then focusing on just that perfect middle degree right there at 45. Not too high, which would be literally high. That'd be too sharp. And not too low so that it doesn't quite get the arc that we want it to. Yeah, this is not going to come down nearly as far. Probably lose about 10 meters on this one. Yeah, I don't know why they're cheering so loud. Anyway, we already set the world record, so Fluff, I'm told you have a Fluff fact about this event.
Tossing a javelin at the full 80 degrees will hit a UFO, causing it to fall from the sky. This also nets you a 3,000 point bonus, just like in real life. The spaceship also appears in the skeet shooting competition if you manage to hit every single target in a single run, which is arguably the most difficult thing to do in track and field. An unused graphic was discovered, which suggests this was initially meant to be an eagle, but it was subsequently and understandably changed before release.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would play in America. Good call, Fluff. Thank you very much. Speaking of the skeet shooting right here, it's basically just hitting the D-pad as soon as the targets line up with your sights. Note they're going to be coming in from the left and right-hand sides. At least when you get a nice rhythm of hitting a lot of consecutive targets. This is probably my worst event right here, but every now and then I can go on a good tear. See if we can. We've already gone, what, 3 for 3 in hitting world records? Or 4 for 4, I guess. Let's see if we can hit one more. Need that 4,300. You just kind of, yeah, I lost it there. We just need one more. All right, there we go. Broke the world record by 200. Not sure if this is meant to be the same guy. Yeah, that's how I would celebrate setting a world record. Just kind of grin. Our sunglasses. Yeah, I'm not sure that this is meant to be the same Olympian competing in all these events. I like to think it is. I like to think Kevin is multifaceted. That was a good tear right there, and then we lost it. Something about... It's just, you gotta activate multiple parts of your brain. Similar to the running up to the line and hitting that D-pad to get the perfect angle on a lot of the jumps and things like that. But speaking of jumps, we're now at the triple jump. This one is a little trickier. You got to do it 3 times in a row. Once again, 45 is the magic number. And what do we just... we beat the world record by about 4 meters there. That's a pretty substantial jump right there. No pun intended, but yeah. Tapping A as quickly as possible to build up speed, getting up to that line. Actually, if you build up too much speed and you hit those angles too effectively, you can actually kind of break the game by going a little bit too far with one of your jumps and go over that line there. But so that was a bad angle with the 54, 38. Perfect 45 in the last one, so they sort of balanced each other out. And that afforded us the new world record. The last one didn't stand for all that long. So we are now the second and first place world record holders. We move on to archery now. First, you select the wind, which is moving very quickly, so it's essentially at random when you click that trigger, and then you just basically want to, factoring in the wind, you want to aim for about an angle of 5 degrees. It's kind of the sweet spot to make sure that you're not going too high or too low. See right there, we're just above the bullseye at 6.4. Thankfully, they give you plenty of tries. See, we're just off center of the bullseye there. A little bit to the left that time. I find that it works best. It's not world record material. Don't need to be flexing just now yet. Kevin, but I find that it works best if you aim. There's a nice bullseye. If you fire just when, assuming you have about, 0 wind, you want to fire just when that bullseye passes the kind of zoomed in version of it right there. So there's a slight delay of activating, brain to finger to hit the A button there to fire that arrow, but you'd see right there. That is the sweet spot, basically, with 5. That's how you hit your bullseyes. 5 angle. It'll vary a little bit depending on your wind, but for the most part, that's what you want to aim for. And once again, another world record. We've gone 7 for 7 now. And speaking of 7, speaking of this event, Fluff, I'm told you have another Fluff fact about this event.
My favorite Easter egg in track and field is in the archery competition. If you don't bullseye until the 7th arrow, a good luck cat will appear with an apple on its head for the final target. Hitting the apple will net you 1,000 points, plus 3 more arrows you can shoot. Just please be careful aiming if you go for this bonus.
Thank you, Fluff. Yes, no animals were harmed in the achievement of this world record. Actually, obviously right here, we did not hit the good luck cat, but theoretically, you can get the highest score possible by going for 400s for those first 6 shots, hitting your first bullseye at 7, hitting the apple, and then getting bullseyes the rest of the way right there. But regardless, we got our world record. We're happy with 39.50. And we end on the high jump here. It's a little bit different this time. 45 was normally the magic number. This is the exception. With the high jump, we want to tap A as quickly as possible as we run up, and then aim. Once you get as close to the bar as you can, aim for about 65 degrees. You can see we're clearing it each time. This event is not nearly as satisfying. You need to play through the game multiple times for them to change the bar height, essentially. That's why we have no chance at hitting that world record. So, Crazed Fan running out on the field. I guess that's Fan Man right there. He pops out for a 3,000 point bonus if you clear the bar every single time, so no fouls or anything like that. So after that, it just restarts. Everything gets a little bit more difficult as you go on, but for our purposes, we have already set every world record. That is the key to doing that in this game. So before we head out, let's get one final Fluff fact about track and field from Fluff.
While designing this game, the developers studied college track and field athletes and watched footage from the 1964 Tokyo Olympics and the more recent, at the time, 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Purportedly, one of the developers had such a huge crush on Finnish javelin thrower Tina Lilik that he was able to convince the rest of the development team to include the javelin toss as an event in the game.
That's a sweet story. Thank you very much, Fluff. Gotta appreciate that. And the javelin toss, one of my favorite events, incidentally. But that's our time for this week. Thank you so much. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to enroll in these classes. We do one of these classes every single week in the same spot. We'd love to have you enrolled. Click that like button. It really does help us out in making future classes for you. And leave a comment. Have you played this game before? Have you played the sequel, maybe? Or if you haven't played this game, or even if you have, what's your favorite Olympic-based video game? There have been a lot of these made over the years. And yeah, I know firsthand from playing a lot of them on our sister channel, Let's Play with the Brigands. So just let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if there's any Olympic games that I've been sleeping on that I should check out. But that's our time for this week. We'll see you next week in the same spot for next week's class, right here on Video Games 101. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video, and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.